One way to be an ethical person is to join ASHRAE.
You only get out of it what you put in.
The response that you get and the effort that people put out. Without that, it would not be a fun job, I can tell you.
I'm just putting back something that I was given. He said, I've taken so much more away than I can give. I'd work for nothing.
It's a blessing to have these kinds of people as friends. And I mean, they're big people.
Yes.
Big in heart and soul. And I'm glad to have friends like that.
Well, from the time I was 10, I knew two things. I knew I wanted to be a mechanical engineer, and I knew I wanted to work in the HVAC industry. And I have no idea to this day why.
I took an HVAC class, the only one they offered, and it wasn't taught by a university professor. They had some guy who'd been a consulting engineer, and he taught it on Saturday mornings.
People were giving me copies of articles or the ASHRAE handbook and telling me to look here for this calculation.
It was basically, my engineer says, don't come in my office without you belong to ASHRAE.
I got one cold call from one of local chapter member. I just don't know. I still don't know how he got my phone number. Anyway, he's like, Ben, do you want to come into our meeting? By the way, we need a treasurer. I said, okay, maybe one thing at a time.
Everything changed for me with ASHRAE when my boss could not make an ASHRAE meeting and he sent me in his place. And as nervous as I walked into my first TC and the room was filled with all of my customers.
I think I paid $8, or something of that for my student membership. But the best part was I got the thick green 1981 ASHRAE Fundamentals book. And it has so much cool data in it that I could use and learn from.
And I went and sat in on a couple of committees. As a very young man, young practicing engineer, technician, and was in awe of the brain power at the table.
I found like-minded people when I first started participating in ASHRAE.
And with my father having already been in ASHRAE, there was no question but what I was destined to be part of the ASHRAE family.
I had to bike myself to the American consulate and request them to get these standards. So that was my first experience, so I fell in love with ASHRAE at that time. So it's almost 50 years ago.
When I started, I had a calculator. I had my sling psychrometer, a compass, a few other things.
My first desktop that I got at the office had a 5 megabyte hard drive with two 2.5 megabyte partitions.
Of course, international phones were very, very expensive, so if you had to call somebody, you just wrote them a letter and waited a month for the answer.
It was all hand drafting, and we had vellums and we had mylars that we would do hand drafting. We'd put them back in the drawers and then pull them back out when we need to make changes on them.
First starting out as a student, I was under the impression every building was perfect and always ran right and everything was great, but I was told otherwise pretty quickly and learned that firsthand.
There will always be a need for a technical society such as ours, in our particular specialty, to provide the expertise that we do provide and to come together as volunteers to be able to make that happen.
Is making sure these buildings are more sustainable, greener, so that it helps the future generation. That includes my daughter. She's young, and I hope that I leave a good world for her to live in the future.
The little contribution each one of us can make will help leave a legacy, and I don't believe it's necessarily the legacy of each individual person. I think it's the sum of the parts that gives us an opportunity to be major players in the next 125 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Orlando and the 2020 Winter Conference. And now, ASHRAE President Daryl Boyce.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Orlando. Thank you for joining us at the ASHRAE 2020 Winter Conference and AHR Expo. At this time, I declare this meeting of the ASHRAE members officially open. Now, Orlando is a city of magic and vision. Walt Disney came here almost 50 years ago with a vision for the future. Like Disney, ASHRAE's vision to advancing the arts and sciences of the HVAC&R over the course of our 125-year history has been unparalleled. ASHRAE work, your work, continues to improve the built environment for generations to come. We have a great conference planned for you. Here are a few of the events taking place this week. More than 600 committee meetings will take place, focusing on research, standards, and the business of the society. These meetings are open to all attendees. We invite you to share your thoughts about the work and the operation of ASHRAE through 2 open sessions with the Board of Directors, taking place in this room at 1:30 tomorrow and at 2 p.m. on Wednesday. The technical program kicks off tomorrow with 8 tracks, over 100 technical sessions, and some 300 speakers. We will also offer 21 ASHRAE Learning Institute Pro courses kicking off today and continuing through Tuesday. And finally, don't miss the AHR Expo. With more than 1,800 exhibitors, it's located in the West Building at the Orange County Convention Center and opens Monday at 10 a.m. Be sure to stop by the ASHRAE booth located in the West Building, booth number B3201. We appreciate you being here. It's because of your hard work that we are able to achieve operational excellence for the people who occupy our buildings. I encourage you to take full advantage of the conference that the conference has to offer. At this time, we'd like to show you a video message from the Orlando Mayor, Buddy Dyer, and Orange County Mayor, Jerry Demings.
On behalf of the residents of Central Florida, we are honored to welcome the ASHRAE Winter Conference to our Orange County Convention Center, and congratulations on your 125th anniversary. Along with my colleague, Mayor Buddy Dyer, we embody your mission of shaping tomorrow's built environment today by closely collaborating on our sustainability strategies. In fact, where you are here today, the I-Drive corridor is planned to be home to the nation's largest district chilled water network, including a multi-million-dollar expansion of our convention center to be built to the high-performing LEED certification standards. Mayor Dyer, can you fill us in on some of your exciting efforts happening in Central Florida?
As a city and a county, we're focused on keeping our residents safe, working to end homelessness, driving diverse economic growth, expanding multimodal transportation options, and ensuring we continue to be one of the most sustainable and resilient regions in America. Over the last decade, Orlando has risen in the ranks in our sustainability performance, most recently being recognized as LEED Gold certified city by the U.S. Green Building Council. This underscores our community's efforts in expanding energy efficiency and renewable energy on city rooftops and throughout our community. adding more electric vehicles and buses, increasing our recycling and food waste collection, developing high-performing green buildings, and much more. I want to thank the local ASHRAE Central Florida chapter for the critical role you've played in advancing our energy efficiency by improving our building codes to ensure the safety, comfort, and well-being of our occupants, and continuing pushing the market to be more efficient in how we use energy and utilities.
Our team at the Convention Center is conducting tours during your conference where you can see our building systems a little closer, such as the chill water loop, the 1 megawatt rooftop solar array, and our center-to-table gardens that grow more than 35,000 hydroponic greens and herbs that we serve to you every year. We're looking forward to further collaboration with the ASHRAE community and the Smart Cities Council to enhance our innovation, sustainability, and resiliency. So I invite you to reach out to us as you explore expanding your companies in our community. We also invite you to take advantage and grow your staff with our incredible workforce-ready energy technician and engineering programs at Valencia College and the University of Central Florida.
So thank you again for the opportunity to host you. We hope you enjoy our world-class venues, theme parks, neighborhoods, and amenities while you're here.
Enjoy the conference.
We'd like to thank Mayor Dwyer and Mayor Demings for their warm welcome. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Robin Bryant, Region 12 Director and Regional Chair.
Whatever it takes, 'cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. I do whatever it takes.
Oh boy. Good afternoon. On behalf of the members of Region 12 and the Central Florida Host Chapter, I welcome you to not so sunny Orlando. They're telling us it's going to get better in the next couple days, so we hope you get to enjoy it. We are excited to see such a great turnout for what we anticipate will be one of our best conferences ever. Orlando has seen many changes since we were here last. Our members have been busy incorporating ASHRAE's vision into our community. My favorite example is this year students started classes in Florida's first net zero STEM magnet high school, the Neo City Academy. Design elements include 650 roof-mounted solar panels, daylighting, and air purification technology. Thanks to the partnership among Osceola County School District, the University of Central Florida, and other community partners, the Neo City offers program tracks in biodesign, cybersecurity, digital arts, and engineering. The future graduates of this high school will be some of the future members of our powerhouse UCF student branch, which has had continuous success in ASHRAE's student design competitions. UCF and dedicated ASHRAE members are working hard to make sure that these future engineers have a state-of-the-art campus that is home to a new central energy plant and cogeneration plant. You can visit both plants that serve over 68,000 students on one of the technical tours planned for this conference. At this time, I want to recognize one of my ASHRAE heroes, Wade Conlin, the General Chair, and his host chapter committee. They have worked incredibly hard to make this conference a success while planning Region 12's next CRC simultaneously, which will take place in 6 short months. Please join me in a round of applause for these amazing ASHRAE volunteers. While Orlando may be the center of Florida, it is not the center of Region 12. Our 16 chapters, 6 sections, 52 student branches cover over 8 million square miles in 33 countries and 2 U.S. territories. Our regional officers are located as far north as Jacksonville, Florida, and as far south as Buenos Aires, Argentina, a mere 4,700 miles apart. If you think driving 5 hours to make a chapter visit is challenging, try flying 12 hours, only to find out your luggage is nowhere to be found, and your choices are either to wear the same clothes for the next 5 days, or rock an I Heart Brazil t-shirt to the next 23 employer visits, government affairs meetings, chapters, student branch presentations that they have scheduled for you to participate in at a breakneck speed. Let me just tell you, it makes for a very memorable trip. So if your luggage didn't follow you to sunny Florida, have no fear. Someone from your Region 12 family can show you where all the great I Love Mickey t-shirts can be found, and we'll rock one right along with you. Because here we celebrate diversity and dedication. We hope you enjoy your stay with us at this conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. At this time, I'd like to introduce Paul Petrelli, Chair of the Honors and Awards Committee.
The Honors and Awards program recognizes dedicated ASHRAE members who voluntarily give freely of their time and expertise to advance the arts and sciences of HVAC&R and to serve humanity and promote a sustainable world. Through this program, we acknowledge those who contribute to our society, our industry, and our world in a meaningful manner. Our awards recipients exemplify the best in engineering technology by continually bringing credit to the profession and to society. On behalf of the Honors and Awards Committee, I am pleased to recognize the men and women enlisted in the program for their many contributions. Let me be the first to say congratulations on your achievements. We will now recognize the first group of recipients.
We begin our awards program today by recognizing our next generation of engineers, the students who earned first place in the Student Design Competition and the SETI Family Foundation Applied Engineering Challenge. In the 2019 Student Design Competition, students put their engineering skills to the test to design and select systems for a new 4-story, 70,000 square feet medical, clinical, surgical, and office building in Budapest, Hungary. First place in HVAC system selection goes to University of Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska. Team members are Mitch Mallet Hyatt, Colin Miller, and Samuel Underwood. First place in HVAC design calculations goes to Ann Shams University, Cairo, Egypt. Team members are Bishoy Batr Kmel, George Munir, Semeh Khalid, Kiroras Samir, John Victor, and Paula Anis. The team member, John Victor, will accept the award. First place in Integrated Sustainable Building Design goes to Loughborough University, Leicestershire, United Kingdom. Team members are Vijay Kumar Chithambram, Hope Taki Organista, Joshua Basudevan, and Grishma Bindu Nandukumar. Grishma is unable to join us today. The SETI Family Foundation Applied Engineering Challenge required students to design a self-sustaining community that included essential amenities to accommodate 5,000 people of the island of Vieques, Puerto Rico. First place goes to the University of New Hampshire, Durham, New Hampshire. Team members are Samuel Bean, Alexander Sparks, Jacob Scarpino, and Sarah Mayer. The ASHRAE Technology Awards recognize outstanding achievements by members who have successfully applied innovative building designs. Their designs incorporate ASHRAE standards for effective energy management and indoor air quality. The recipient of the Award of Engineering Excellence will have demonstrated the best overall compliance with the judging criteria. In the category of New Commercial Buildings and for the Award of Engineering Excellence, ASHRAE recognizes first place winner Sasumu Horikawa, Kosuke Sato, and Eddie Kataoka for the Shogakukan Building in Tokyo, Japan. The building is owned by Shogakukan Real Estate Development Incorporated and is represented today by Kenji Sakamoto. We recognize first place ASHRAE Technology Award projects which demonstrate the most outstanding achievement in the design and operation of energy-efficient buildings. In the category of New Educational Facilities, first place is awarded to Henry Johnstone for New Environment and Natural Resources 2, Tucson, Arizona. The building is owned by the University of Arizona Planning, Design, and Construction. In the category of Existing Educational Facilities, first place is awarded to Chad Lunning, Michael McDermott, Eric Huber, and David Nelson. For the University of Illinois Frederick Seitz Materials Research Laboratory renovation, Champaign, Illinois. Michael, Eric, and David are unable to join us today. The building is owned by the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign and is represented today by Mohammed Atala. In the category of New Healthcare Facilities, first place is awarded to Kurt Montero and Kevin Sharples for the Peel Memorial Centre in Brampton, Ontario, Canada. The building is owned by William Osler Health Systems. In the New Industrial Facilities or Processes category, first place goes to Paul Finch for the Cow Data Campus in Harlow, United Kingdom. The building is owned by Cow Data. In the New Public Assembly category, first place goes to Leighton Deer and Kevin Kaufman for the Tennessee State Museum in Nashville, Tennessee. The building is owned by the State of Tennessee, Department of General Services, Real Estate Asset Management, and is represented today by Peter Heimbach. Our next award recognizes an honorary member given to notable persons of preeminent professional distinction. James Earl Jimmy Carter Jr., 39th President of the United States, Nobel Peace Prize winner, philanthropist, and humanitarian, is the principal founder of the Carter Center and key figure in the Habitat for Humanity charity, promoting human rights through effective collaborations. While not in attendance, we thank President Carter for his contributions.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to call on Jeff Littleton to present the Society's report. Jeff?
I can promise you, yes, I am a dream too.
Thank you, President Boyce, and thank you to everyone for joining us here in Orlando. I am so proud, so honored, and so excited that ASHRAE is celebrating its 125th year. And it is you, our amazing, dedicated, cherished volunteers that have fueled this iconic organization for more than a century. Thank you. Thank you for the critical role that you play in creating this wonderful legacy. It's really surprising to see the relevance today of statements made by our founders. 125 years ago, in 1894, ASHVE, the American Society of Heating and Ventilating Engineers, ASHVE President Edward Bates said, "I now charge you, as you love the cause in which you so recently embarked, to look well to your applications for members, as the growth and perpetuity of this society rest upon this as much as on any other application." In other words, get your membership application in, folks, because we got work to do. Fast forward to 1959, when the consolidation of two HVAC societies created ASHRAE. In 1959, Cecil Bowling, the first president of what we now know as ASHRAE, said, "ASHRAE is far more than nearly 20,000 people engaged in a common activity using closely related engineering principles. ASHRAE is opportunity to improve things as they are, to broaden our horizons and accomplishments, and to ensure more efficient and more economical use of materials, energies, resources, and efforts." Now just imagine if Ed Bates and Cecil Bowling could see you now. 125 years later, 57,000 members from 130 countries around the world, driving one of the most influential organizations serving the built environment. Congratulations, and give yourself a round of applause. Absolutely. In this, our 125th year, an initiative that truly symbolizes ASHRAE's legacy and mission is the renovation of the Society's new global headquarters. If we, as a buildings industry, are going to move the needle, the energy needle, in the near term in the built environment, we must address existing buildings. And reuse is, of course, the ultimate form of sustainability. ASHRAE is walking that talk by renovating a 1978 67,000 square foot building on 11 acres to net zero energy ready performance. Demolition is complete. The core renovation work is well underway, and we move in October. This is the largest capital project in your Society's 125-year history, and it would not happen, it would not be possible without incredible support from key industry partners. President Boyce will make some very, very exciting announcements about that industry support at Monday's presidential luncheon. That's going to be a really big deal. If you haven't made plans to attend that luncheon, please do so. You do not want to miss that event. And if you want details on the design of the building, Headquarters Ad Hoc Committee Chair Ginger Scoggins will give a talk about that project tomorrow from 3 to 4 p.m. in room Orange B here on this floor of the hotel. In fact, you can search for that seminar in the ASHRAE 365 app, ASHRAE 365 app, which I know you've all already downloaded. You can search for the phrase New ASHRAE in the app, and Ginger's seminar will pop right up. There's also a lot of information about the headquarters project on the ASHRAE website, including photos taken just last week and information on how members can support this really important milestone project. In addition to that headquarters seminar, I'd also like to mention that a demonstration of the Building EQ, or Building Energy Quotient portal, will take place tomorrow from 4 to 5 in room Orange C on this level of the hotel. There are now more than 1,000 registered users in Building EQ and 657 projects active in the portal, so be sure to check that out. So it's ASHRAE's 125th anniversary, which is incredible. It is also the 90th anniversary of the AHR Expo, 90 years. So please, please honor that 90-year legacy by spending time at the show. It's a convenient walk from the hotel in a skywalk, so no excuses. There are 1,985 companies waiting to meet you there. 575 of those companies are from outside the United States, and 300 of those companies are exhibiting for the very first time. Together, the exhibitors occupy 506,000 net square feet of exhibit space, and that's up nicely from the 469,000 square feet the last time the show was here in Orlando in 2016. And while you're at the expo, be sure to stop by ASHRAE booth B3201 to get your very own collector edition ASHRAE 125th anniversary lapel pin. Collector edition lapel pin. I've been talking a lot about ASHRAE's history and historical documents, and the society bylaws, speaking of historical documents, the society bylaws have not changed much since the 1959 consolidation that created ASHRAE. So in the spring membership ballot, you will be asked to consider a small change to the ASHRAE bylaws related to petition nominations, and I'm required to announce that proposed bylaws change here at this meeting. Almost all nominations for board and officer positions flow through the Society Nominating Committee. The bylaws also allow nominations for board positions to be submitted by a general membership petition. The proposed new bylaw increases the number of signatures needed for petition-based nominations from 50, a number that was set in 1959, to 0.5% of members eligible to vote based on the number of members on the first day of that society year. That proposed bylaw will also say that no more than 50% of those petitioners may be from one region. In the current society year 2019-20, the number of petition signatures that would have been needed if this bylaw were in place now would be 215, with no more than 107 signatures from one region. To be approved, that bylaw's change must be supported by a 2/3, so not a simple majority, but a 2/3 majority of members responding to the ballot. The ballot is usually sent in April, so please watch for it and vote. Please vote. Vote early, vote often. No, don't vote often, just vote once, but vote. At the midpoint of the Society's 125th anniversary year, I'm happy to report that the Society is strong financially and that membership is steady with just shy of 57,000 members around the world. And the Society's work continues at a really brisk pace. We will have 45 state and local government outreach days this Society year compared to just 29 last year. So a shout out to the chapters that are running those important events. That takes a lot of work. Thank you very much. Several new publications have been released, including the 2019 editions of the Commercial Building Energy Efficiency Standard 90.1, Ventilation Standard 62.1 and 2, and new technical books like Higher Performance Building Simplified and the third installment of the Air Conditioning Design Manual. Please visit the bookstore, shop long and hard, and please spend lots and lots of money. Educational offerings continue to expand with fully 7 new courses offered for the first time, 7 courses for the first time here in Orlando, such as Guideline 36, Best-in-Class HVAC Control Sequences, Best Practices for Installing DDC Systems, and my favorite, the V in HVAC, What, Why, Where, How, and How Much. As of yesterday, more than 1,003 people have signed up to take those fee-based educational courses here in Orlando. That's really exciting. ASHRAE certification programs continue to grow. That's highlighted by the introduction of a digital badging program. We'll partner with CIBSE, the Chartered Institute of Building Services Engineers in the UK, to run the technical symposium Engineering Buildings, Systems, and Environments for Effective Operations. That's April 16th to 17th in Glasgow. And we'll partner with ABIPSA to run the 2020 Building Performance Analysis Conference and SimBuild this August in Chicago. Finally, I hope everyone, of course, come back and join us in Austin this June for the 2020 annual meeting, where we will all work hard and I'm sure be very successful at keeping Austin weird. I'll close by suggesting that if Edward Bates and Cecil Bowling could be here today, they would marvel at what ASHRAE has become, and they would be most proud of everything that you have accomplished 125 years on. As you circulate through the conference and expo this week, remember that you are part of a very, very rare, and wonderful legacy. Thank you. Thank you for your amazing support, and have a fantastic meeting. Thank you.
We now present the E.K. Campbell Award of Merit, given by the Life Members Club. The award recognizes outstanding service and achievement in teaching. ASHRAE Honors, Janice Kathleen Means. We now honor the recipient of the ASHRAE Award for Distinguished Public Service. The award recognizes members who have performed outstanding public service in their community. The recipient is Carl Huber. The John F. James International Award honors a member who has done the most to enhance the Society's global presence. ASHRAE now recognizes Farouk Mehiboob. Please join us in recognizing the accomplishments of those members who have attained distinction and made substantial contributions to HVAC&R and the built environment. The following are being elevated to ASHRAE Fellow, which is the Society's highest membership grade. Roughly 500 of ASHRAE's 57,000 members hold the Fellow grade. Andrew Osk has spent 30 years developing mechanical moisture removal solutions and protecting building construction materials in hot, humid climates. His concept for a quiet dehumidification system for a 100-year-old Roman Catholic church was successfully retrofitted without disturbing the building's architecture. Bratislav Blogovic has worked on the design, delivery, installation, and commissioning of control systems and BMS software installations for such notable projects as the Hilton Podgorica Hotel, Montenegro, and a cardiosurgery hospital to the rehabilitation of district heating systems in 15 cities in Serbia. Ju Chen Roger Chang has made award-winning contributions through modernization projects to some of the most well-known buildings in the United States, including the Wayne Aspinall Federal Building, the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts, and the Smithsonian Institution's Renwick Gallery. As a young engineer, Fabio Clavijo worked to create a national HVAC association to promote better engineering practices in Latin America. 38 years ago, he became the co-founder of ICAR, Colombian Association of Air Conditioning and Refrigeration, a part of the ASHRAE Associate Society Alliance. Jon Silvio Dobash has designed and implemented projects in Belgium and Romania, using building energy modeling for buildings such as the Mioveni City Hospital, Molenbeek City Hall, L'Horizon Laken Nursery, and the Theatre Royal de la Monnaie Opera House. Daniel Doyle's career has involved leading a team to investigate conditions that resulted in an award-winning project that included rebalancing of 6 major air handlers and converting air supply to VAV at Chicago Tribune Freedom Center. Daniel's work on major projects at Amoco BP Research Center and Advocate Healthcare has earned him society and industry recognition. Over the course of his professional career, Mike Gallagher has been involved in every area of HVAC and has received industry acclaim for his central plant retrofit project of the Chinese Theater in Hollywood, the first online course on hydronics for the United Association Pipefitters Union, and a monthly tech column for ASHRAE's Southern California chapter newsletter. Nazreen Gadar designed clothing to improve worker productivity in hot, humid climates, integrating comfort models to predict human thermal state. She also worked on a sustainable hybrid air conditioning system that ensured at least 25% improvement in energy use over conventional operational strategies. Eric Gong has worked on numerous research projects, including one to develop a compact heat battery, which allows for better use of available renewable energy sources to bridge the gap between supply and demand and increase the efficiency by converting electricity peaks into thermal chemical material to be used later. Chuck Gulledge's more than 24-year career in the HVAC industry includes notable projects such as the design of custom prototype water-quenching bath troughs and pumping systems and product cooling tunnels. His modular push-pull ventilation system and engine underpower environmental chambers for Caterpillar's assembly plant earned him a 2015 ASHRAE Technology Award. Presidential Life member William Harrison has been a longtime advocate for sustainable design and construction through his effort with ASHRAE's Arkansas chapter. His project credits include cost-effective HVAC design for small acute care hospitals located in rural communities and the development of a system to control temperature and humidity in a medium temperature refrigerated warehouse. Nicolas Lemire served as lead design engineer on the Richard J. Renaud Science Complex for Concordia University, clearing the path to other award-winning, high-tech educational building projects utilizing sustainable practices. His 20 years of volunteer work to the Society includes being a founding member of Young Engineers in ASHRAE, as well as authoring 9 published papers. Bing Liu served as the technical lead and project committee chair for several advanced energy design guides, establishing the technical foundation for the energy efficiency requirements and specifications for efficient building design and construction. In addition to providing leadership to ASHRAE's Standard 90.1 technical team, Bing worked on a Team Net Zero Energy Bank Branch project in Florida. Researcher and educator Antonio Luis de Campos Mariani has worked extensively on IAQ research, participating in study committees at the Brazilian Association of Technical Standards for over 30 years. Antonio has received ASHRAE awards for Best Air Conditioning and Ventilation Projects designed by undergraduate students, motivating them to further pursue HVAC careers. Gyanjan Mogyel's work on India's first intelligent building transformed the HVAC industry to move from constant volume flow to variable chilled water flow processes. Gyan also participated in projects for Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose International Airport and Agilent Technologies, designing and installing chilled water recirculating systems to save on energy. Fabrizio Pache worked on an air quality project which fume hood modifications that resulted in $20,000 worth of energy savings per year and earned awards, including ASHRAE's Technology Award. Fabrizio's projects are featured in publications throughout the United States. Shailesh Vatak's free cooling design project of a production facility provided valuable energy saving and reduced running costs by taking in 100% fresh air and exhausting out 100% stale air using a BMS platform that does not require human interface. A chiller project in a newsprint production facility saved running costs and enabled print press operations to perform more efficiently. Uma Shankar introduced the concept of balancing valves as a product and promoted its effective use by providing independent software in 1992. An expert in the area of flow control and a pioneer in the air conditioning industry in India, Uma holds the patents on many inventions and has a prestigious client base in which his company maintains partnerships. Michael Talbot is most well known for his work designing radiant cooling and heating systems in hot, humid climates, having designed several buildings and published several materials on radiant cooling systems. Michael was also responsible for the design of Lee Hall School of Architecture, located in Clemson, South Carolina, a radiant cooling slab building with the most energy-efficient building on Clemson University's campus. Paul Torsellini's innovative performance-based procurement strategy with an absolute energy target on the National Renewable Energy Laboratory Research Support Facility is one of the largest zero-energy buildings in the world. Paul has also worked on creating a framework for establishing definitions of zero-energy buildings for the industry. Paolo Tronville served as chairman of the International Organization for Standardization Technical Committee on Clean Equipment for Air and Other Gases, which uses test equipment and procedures identical to ASHRAE's Standard 52.2. A respected air filtration expert, Paolo co-authored an article for the ASHRAE Journal on the benefits of the air filtration standard to HVAC designers. Xinlei Wang and his team developed a new method using a ventilation effectiveness factor and map to measure and characterize ventilation effectiveness in an animal building airspace for the livestock industry. Xinlei has led his students to design success projects for solar decathlon competitions and worked on a grant project with the Champaign-Urbana Mass Transit District. Michael Woodford introduced a series of improvements to automate and accelerate the development and dissemination of the Air Conditioning, Heating, and Refrigeration Institute standards, providing better access and growing adoption of the standards worldwide. Michael's work positioned AHRI and ASHRAE standards to become true international standards, serving the needs of regulators and consumers everywhere. In 2007, Shitong Jia developed the first CO2 cascade refrigeration pilot test system, which led to mass adoption among supermarkets in North America. Shitong's work in low-cost, high-efficiency commercial refrigeration systems and training has received industry recognition and resulted in numerous patents. Zhang Zai has contributed significant research in the areas of active chilled beam systems, air distribution, ventilation, and building energy simulation. John's research in hospital operating room ventilation has provided the foundation for improved design standards of ventilation in healthcare facilities and has been shared through ASHRAE's Distinguished Lecturer Series. Life member and researcher Alexander Vivov has worked on projects to promote improved energy efficiencies, better strategic implementation of new building technologies, and renewable energy technologies, among other topics. Alexander's research has been published in more than 200 publications and has earned him many awards, including ASHRAE's Distinguished Service Award and the Exceptional Service Award. We now recognize fellows who were unable to join us today. Chandana Dalugoda was involved in pioneering a passive house retrofit in Sri Lanka as an economic catalyst and model for sustainable development. Hugh D. Sairam has made significant contributions in Sri Lanka through his 47-plus years of service to ASHRAE. Linda Laurie participated in numerous scientific research projects during her 30-year career with the U.S. Army Engineer Research and Development Center. Life member S.K. Murthy participated on a project to install heat recovery to the first multi-specialty hospital in India. Matthew Nung Ping Lung designed chillers for large 5-star integrated resorts in both China and Singapore. Wijitha Pereira's work as a consulting engineer and lecturer has been an asset to ASHRAE and professionals in Sri Lanka. Charles D. Simpson designed several energy-efficient schools and worked on an ad hoc committee that produced North Carolina's first energy code. At this time, we remember an individual who made milestone contributions to the growth of HVAC&R with the Pioneers of the Industry Award. As a professor, his frustration over the inability to regulate individual temperatures in his classroom led to the development of a multi-zone pneumatic control system and the launch of the building control industry. ASHRAE recognizes inventor Warren S. Johnson.
We will now induct 2 of our members into the ASHRAE Hall of Fame. This year's inductees are Frederick Gisai and Richard Perry. Frederick and Richard have both made significant and lasting contributions to the advancement of heating and cooling over the course of their careers. At this time, we would like to welcome Frederick's granddaughter, Jean, to accept the ASHRAE Hall of Fame recognition on his behalf.
Yeah, I wish I was his granddaughter, but that was my mother. my siblings, my cousins, who are at least a dozen, and I are honored that our great-grandfather or our great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather, and their even great-great-great-grandchildren. I've been honored with this induction that, frankly, I knew the man, but I knew very little or nothing about what he did professionally. I assume you all know a fair amount about his professional work, so I thought I'd tell you a little bit about the man that I knew. He died exactly 1 month to the day before my 6th birthday. He was this very big man that I remember with a huge mop of white hair, which was probably less than I have now, and he helped me find Easter eggs under this giant hedge, which is probably about this tall. I knew him as Europa. All our ancestors are Oma and Opa, or Europa and Oroma. Oroma, his wife, had what was probably called Alzheimer's nowadays. And I used to get very upset when my grandmother or my mother would speak to her because they only spoke in German, which was her first language that she had reverted to. Europa realized that this was a problem, so he taught me to say, ein Platschken bitte, in front of his wife. She promptly would say, gib die Kinder ein Platschken. And so when I got the cookie, I was very happy, and he had solved the problem. He had very firm convictions. And my mother frequently reminded me that he had very firm convictions. One of them was that women should be educated. He had 3 daughters. They all attended Texas A&M as faculty daughters. But since they could not enroll in ROTC, they could not pass it, and therefore could not graduate from Texas A&M. He believed, in addition, that women should be educated, that unmarried women lived at home with their parents. To solve the problem, he went to the University of Texas for 6 years and was a professor there until his 3 daughters all received university degrees. Yeah. He went back to A&M after that. He was also very dedicated to his country. His 17-year-old grandson, my uncle, enlisted in the Army during World War II. Europa also tried to enlist in the Army during World War II. The recruiters said, no, we don't really need you, and he absolutely insisted, and since he was known fairly well locally, the recruiters said, well, let's just play along, and we'll enroll him, and then he'll fail the physical, and we'll be all set. He passed the physical. Someone did manage to convince him that his work would be better performed in the civilian position, so he did not go into military service for the Second World War. During the Depression, his son-in-law, my grandfather, was a licensed architect, but he didn't have a whole lot of work. But he did have 2 young children. My mother frequently talked about remembering her father and her grandfather, my great-grandfather, underneath the house doing all these experiments on heating and ventilation. And considering it was Texas, it was probably air conditioning as well. And I think what was going on, that this was his way of supporting his son-in-law and the young family at a period of time when architects were not working. He also had another serious conviction, and that was that female nurses did not service male patients, especially him. And this is a story my mother told me several times. But, excuse me, he was in the hospital, very near the end of his life, and the family hired a male private nurse for him. And there was a sign on the door, no female nurses. Now, I don't know if you know nurses or not, but I've never met a charge nurse that isn't going to check on all her patients. And so, sure enough, the charge nurse goes into the room, and he gets up and proceeds to leave. So they corral him, put him back in the room, take his clothes away. Everything's under control. Till the next time the charge nurse goes in the room, at which point they find him leaving the hospital wrapped up in a sheet. They put him back in the bed, and he died. I must admit, I'm not sure this part of the story. It was either 2 days or 2 weeks later, but either way, he died very shortly after that incident. His hobby was painting, and in the photos that I think they showed or they're going to show, or I'm not sure how that works, did include one picture of one of his watercolors. He only did watercolors as far as I know. I have two. One of my sisters has one. I also have an original drawing of a front elevation of one of the buildings at Texas A&M that he designed. I think this gives you kind of an overview of the man that I knew, and I hope you get a nice picture of the man that always kept the swing on the front porch moving just as long as I wanted it to go, even though it was quite obvious to me that he really wanted to stop and go in the house.
And now we'd like to welcome Dale Carter to the stage to accept the ASHRAE Hall of Fame recognition on Richard's behalf.
On behalf of the Richard Perry family, the BC chapter of ASHRAE, and all of Region 11, we would like to acknowledge and thank the ASHRAE Nominating Committee for this esteemed recognition and presentation today. It is a great honor for me personally to be here to accept this award on behalf of the Perry family. Today, as the ASHRAE Hall of Fame recognizes Richard Perry, past society president, it also causes us to pause to acknowledge and honor all of those who have been recognized by this hallmark award in the past. In the Bible, we read, "We are like flowers of the field. We grow, we bloom, and then we fade away. This is life." The Institute of the ASHRAE Hall of Fame allows us to never forget the many shoulders that we continue to stand on today. From the resumes of the previous Hall of Fame recipients, we note that they share many of the same characteristics and attributes as Richard Perry. Unbridled energy to stay loyal to their profession and to share their expertise with integrity in order to encourage those coming behind them. In Richard Perry's acceptance speech for the F. Paul Anderson Award, he stated, "To the young members here today, you will write the next chapter. You will lead the world in engineering innovation and in international cooperation. Don't be afraid to reach across the geographic boundaries to leverage the strength of the entire ASHRAE community. Take hold of the opportunity in front of you and make them your own." This was the mentor and encourager at his best. Richard Perry, better known as Dick to all who knew him, lived a rather storybook life. He served honorably with the New Zealand Royal Air Force in the Bomber Command during the Second World War, distinguished himself as a prominent engineer in the community, with a long list of elite projects. He was an active member in numerous associations and societies and was distinguished for his contributions and his initiatives. Membership in these organizations to Dick was not just a card in his wallet, but a chance to contribute, to be a contributor, and to make a difference in life. Piece of ASHRAE history: Dick was part of an ad hoc committee in his service at the time, which was challenged to seek out, find, and recommend a new place for the ASHRAE headquarters, which moved from New York City to Atlanta. And today, or this term, we are planning to be moving into a new headquarters. A number of years ago, Dick and I traveled together to an ASHRAE meeting and shared a hotel room. I woke in the middle of the night to see Dick poring over a large hardcover book on aviation. When I asked what he was doing instead of sleeping and keeping me awake, his reply was, "I want to fly a plane again, and so I will need to renew my license." Dick was in his 80s at the time, and he did fly again. Dick joined our DEC engineering team in 2008 at the age of 84, offering his services to help mentor and work with our young engineering team. He stated at the time, "If I don't work, I will die," and that's not an option. His title at DEC Engineering was Senior Engineer Emeritus. During his tenure with us, he co-authored an article on green district energy for the 2010 Winter Olympics. This appeared as a feature article on the cover of our ASHRAE Journal. Dick was an author, teacher, innovator, entrepreneur, and an aviator. Dick, the ever-positive friend, mentor, and encourager, was truly a man of all seasons, and we are honored to salute him today. Thank you.
Our final award, and ASHRAE highest honor, is the F. Paul Anderson Award. This award is named in memory of presidential member F. Paul Anderson for notable achievement of outstanding service performed in the HVAC&R field. ASHRAE recognizes William Bonflet.
Precious time.
I picked that music personally. President Boyce, colleagues, and friends, coming as it does from my peers in ASHRAE, this award is truly the most meaningful acknowledgement I can imagine of one's contributions to our industry, and it's a great honor to receive it. I'm grateful to Professor Chandrasekhar for nominating me to join a group of luminaries from manufacturing, academia, and practice that includes the like of Willis Carrier, Ola Fanger, Will Stecker, and Bill Code, a great company, an intimidating company to be among. It's been my privilege to know many of them and to count some of them as mentors and colleagues. The Anderson Award recognizes leadership and broad-based activities. For me, breadth has been the byproduct of serial careers as a researcher, practitioner, and finally as an academic. The melding of these experiences have made me who I am professionally, and they've given me opportunities to create knowledge, design working systems, and educate new engineers our industry needs. A wonderful way to spend one's professional life. My greatest opportunities to lead, however, have arisen from my service in ASHRAE. That has enabled me to participate in our industry in a way that few are privileged to do. influencing the strategic direction of our wonderful society, and advocating on a global platform regarding issues critical to the well-being of humanity and to the environment. That service has been possible only because of employers and my life partner, Mary, who understood its value and supported me in doing it. So I owe them a debt of gratitude as well. There's an old saying that to have a full life, one should plant a tree, have a child, and write a book. I feel that at least metaphorically, I've been able to do all three in my career. Both research and practice have provided material for the publications that collectively are my book. Many colleagues and students were my collaborators and co-authors, so I gratefully acknowledge their contributions to that work. That some of this body of work seems to be of enduring value to both scholars and practitioners is to me very gratifying. The trees I've planted are the organizations I've helped to create to address key societal challenges, including, in particular, the Indoor Environmental Quality Global Alliance and ASHRAE's newer Residential Buildings Committee. With careful tending, I am sure that they will grow and bear fruit long after I'm gone. The children, of course, are my students and the others for whom I've been a teacher and a mentor. It gives me great satisfaction, the greatest of all, to see them engaged in successful careers and becoming the next generation of leaders. Now it's my turn to learn from them and to be led by them. My wish for all of you is that when you reach the point in your life and career at which I now stand, you can look back and recognize your book, your tree, your child. And in doing so, you'll experience the same sense of fulfillment that I do when contemplating mine. Thank you again for this exceptional honor.
Please join me in congratulating all of our award recipients. Thank you for your contribution to make our society and the world. I'd like to also mention that in early November, ASHRAE and the United Nations Environmental Program announced the selection of 5 projects for the 2019 Lower Global Warming Potential Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Innovation Awards. The award promotes innovative design, research, and practice by recognizing people who have developed or implemented innovative technologies, concepts applied in developing countries to minimize global warming potential through refrigeration and air conditioning management. To learn more about selected projects, I invite you to read our November 6th press release featuring the winners at ashrae.org/news. Before we move on to our keynote presentation, let's take a moment of silence to reflect on our ASHRAE members who have passed away since our last meeting in Kansas City, as listed in your plenary program. We would like to thank Daikin North America for their sponsorship of today's keynote speaker. Will all of the Daikin representatives with us today please stand? Please give Daikin North America a round of applause for its support. Thank you. I'm a little behind you here for a minute. Before I introduce our keynote speaker, I want to make an important observation. As you witnessed in the excellent video that was shown at the beginning of the program this year, ASHRAE is marking a 125-year legacy of shaping the built environment. A milestone such as this is cause for celebration, and we want you to join in the excitement. Please direct your attention to the items left in your seats today. You received either an ASHRAE flag or a pom-pom. At my direction, I ask you to pick up your flag or pom-pom, stand to your feet, and on the count of 3, we're going to give the loudest, most enthusiastic, Super Bowl-worthy cheer for ASHRAE that we can give. Are you ready? Stand to your feet. Remember, on the count of 3, shout ASHRAE and wave your flag or pom-poms in celebration. 1, 2, 3. That was exciting, but I think we could do a little better. Ready? 1, 2, 3. What a perfect lead into the introduction of our keynote speaker. So our keynote speaker, Ed Hockley, is an attorney, but he is widely recognized as a referee in the National Football League, where he has worked for the last 28 years. Ed refereed 2 Super Bowls, 10 championship games, along with almost 600 games in the NFL. Having been highly successful at both jobs, one wonders what he